The list in order, starting from number one, would be to identify your obstacles. Number two is to determine the skills and knowledge that you need to achieve those goals. Number three would be to identify who you can work with to help you accomplish your goal. Number four would be to create an action plan. And number five is to set a date. So it's very important to make sure that you're willing to hold yourself accountable, because without accountability, there's really no reason for anyone to be able to work very hard to accomplish their goal. So make sure that as you're setting a goal, you determine what a reasonable time frame is for you to be able to achieve that goal, rather than to randomly say, well, I'm going to double my sales in the next 30 days because I want to. The reality might be that if it's reasonable to expect that you can double your sales, that instead of a month, it might be more reasonable to say it's going to take me 6 months to be able to do that, and come up with an action plan that goes through a 6-month process to help you grow and get to your goal. So it's really nice to be able to have 30-day goals, because they're very easy and it's easy to stay focused, and it's measurable within 30 days to get an immediate result. But if it doesn't make sense that you should realistically expect to achieve those goals in 30 days, then either extend the time in order to make sure that it's reasonable, or maybe break it down and come up with an intermediate goal that you can work on for the first 30 days. Identifying obstacles is so important, because if you have a goal and you're not prepared for the obstacles that can come into play and derail you, it's going to be very hard for you to stay focused and be able to achieve your goal. So make sure that as you're establishing your goal and your time frame that you're going to accomplish your goal within, that you also are clear on what the obstacles are going to be, so that you can spend some time researching and making sure that you have the things in place so that you're able to overcome those obstacles. One example might be that you're not very good at understanding your vehicle very well. You sell based on price. You're working at a dealership where you have a really low price, and basically customers come in, they pay the advertised price, and they go home in a car, or they don't pay the advertised price and you hope somebody else comes in after them. Well, if you're able to work with them and kind of dig in a little bit more and start working on making sure that you have cars that fit their needs, then it's very important to understand the features and the benefits of those vehicles so that you can confirm for them why it makes sense for them to move forward with a purchase with you. So maybe spending some time on product knowledge, going out, getting into the cars, looking at them, understanding. Maybe some role playing might be important to help you to be able to work towards that. But make sure that you're clear on what it's going to take and the obstacles that you're going to face, so that you have a really good chance of being able to keep continuing to achieve that goal. Number two is to make sure that you understand the skills and the knowledge that are required. Going back to number one, if product knowledge is something that you're really not where you should be, then that's a skill and knowledge that you're going to need to do. So you're going to want to spend some time doing walkarounds. You're going to want to spend some time researching information and making sure that you're up to speed, so that you have the best chance of being able to convert that customer into a sale whenever you get in front of them and you have a vehicle that looks like it's going to fit their needs. Maybe it might be negotiation that's a bit of a struggle for you, and you're at a dealership that allows you the opportunity to negotiate. And if that's the case, every customer is going to want to negotiate with you. Then find who it is that you feel is a strong negotiator, and hopefully you're at a store where the environment allows you to feel comfortable to go up to that person and ask them if they're willing to help you. It's something that you feel you need in order to grow and get better at your job, and that you feel that they are going to be a big help, and ask them if they'd be willing to work with you on that. Number four would be to come up with an action plan. And this is one thing that most salespeople I work with, they don't quite understand what it means. And instead of having an action plan, they just come up with tasks. So they tell themselves, I'm going to make phone calls today. I'm going to sell 20 cars this month. And that's not an action plan. So it's really kind of mapping out what it's going to take. So if your goal is to sell 20 cars this month, you work 5 days a week, you sell 1 car a day, that's 5 cars a week. There's 4 weeks in a month, there's 20 cars. So you have to have a plan in place that ensures that you're going to be able to sell that 1 car a day. If you sell 2 cars a day, pressure's off, so you don't have to sell another car the next day, which is great. But if you follow your plan, you might find that if your goal was 20 cars, you might end up with 24. And all you did was everything that you felt you needed to do to sell 20, and somehow you ended up with 24. And I'll tell you, at the end of a month, when your goal is 20 and you sold 24, it feels so much better than when your goal was 20, but you finished the month with 16 because you didn't follow a plan and everything was so random that you hoped it worked out, and unfortunately it just didn't. So make sure that you have a plan. It's very important. Once you set a goal and you're determined to accomplish that goal, it doesn't matter what other people say around you, and it doesn't matter what people think about you if you're working towards something reasonable and you're applying yourself. So again, make sure that you're able to identify your obstacles, do everything you can to overcome those obstacles. That allows you to get to a point where you also can think about what skills you need and what knowledge you need to help you to achieve your goals. Going along with that, you're able to identify the people that you should be working with. And keep in mind too that having a teammate that you have a great relationship with that's a little bit ahead of you in their ability to work with, that's a great thing. You have a manager that has a lot of experience. They understand you and they can relate to you. They communicate well with you and you're able to work together to achieve these things. That's a positive as well. But if you're in a position where you don't have that, and there are so many resources available online to help you get the knowledge that you need, the skills that you need to be able to improve. For me, there's a lot of studying that I do, and it's going to be people like Grant Cardone, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar that have built long-term successful careers being salespeople and being able to communicate the things that work for them. And it allows me the opportunity to learn and find out what it is that's going to work for me. And if you're open to those things and you have the resources available, please go out and use them, because it's so easy to sit back and say, I can't be successful because I'm not given the things I need. But you could be successful if you go out and get those things that you need. Don't make excuses and just focus. That's the importance of setting goals, is that if you have a goal and you persevere through it and you're able to accomplish that, then you build the confidence that you're able to do that. It encourages you, it motivates you, and hopefully it allows you to strive towards something even greater in the future. Keep your head in the game, stay focused, be enthusiastic, and do the things that you need to do regardless of what people do around you. So make sure that you're in a place where you're willing to hold yourself accountable. It's my hope that everybody in the automotive sales business not only enjoys their job, but they have an opportunity to live a happy life and achieve the goals that they want.